A multiple choice list is similar to a checkbox group in that it allows the user to select 0 or more items. So I could choose EPUB, EPUB and PDF, all three, or none at all from this multiple choice list. This version of contact.php is in the chapter 10.10_06 folder of the exercise files. Let's take a look at the code to see how we deal with multiple choice lists. The HTML structure of a multiple choice list is the same as a select menu, but it has the addition of the size and multiple attributes in the opening select tag. However, unlike a single choice select menu that's always included in the form data, a multiple choice select list is included only if at least one option has been selected. If all options are deselected, a multiple choice select element won't be part of the post array when the form is submitted. The other important point to note about a multiple choice list is that the values need to be submitted as an array. So the name of this particular multiple choice list is format. We need to change that by adding an empty pair of square brackets after format so that it's treated as an array. If you forget to do this, only the last selected option will be transmitted with the form data. For the mail processing script to handle this multiple choice list, we need to add its name to the expected array. So let's go to the top of the file, and on line 5 we'll add format, that's the name of our list, to the expected array. Notice that it's just the name format, you don't put square brackets at the end of it. Because we've added format to the expected array, the mail processing script that we're using in process_mail.php expects that element to be included in the post array. But if the user hasn't selected any of the options in the multiple choice list, it won't exist. So we need to check for its existence before including process_mail.php. So I'm going to add an extra line just before there. Then we'll check. If not is set, then we're looking in the post array for the format element. If it hasn't been set, we need to set it ourselves. So post format, and then set its value to being an empty array. It needs to be an empty array, not an empty string. That enables the script in process_mail.php to handle the multiple choice list correctly, even if nothing is selected. But if the user has selected some elements and the form is submitted with other errors, we need to be able to redisplay those selected elements. So that means going back down to the multiple choice list, and we need to add a conditional statement to each of these options. So we'll start on line 81, just before the closing angle bracket of the opening tag. Insert an extra line and then a PHP block in there. And we need a conditional statement. We need to see if post contains any elements. That means the form has been submitted. And in array, we need to check for this value because format is an array. So we're looking for PDF, and we'll be looking for it in the format array. The format array is created by the script in process_mail.php, which goes through each of the elements in the post array and creates a new variable based on the name of that post array element key. So if it has been included in that array, we need to echo selected. Then we need to do the same for the other options. So copy that code, paste it in here, and this time we're looking for EPUB, and we need to be careful about case sensitivity, and then finally for Mobi. And the value that we're looking for is the value that's in the value attribute, not this value here. So again, we need to be careful about case sensitivity. So if we save that and then go back to the browser, let's just refresh the page. So if I select EPUB and submit, we get these other error messages, but EPUB remains selected. And if I select 2 items there and submit, they're both remembered. So that's working fine. But let's say you want to require the user to select a minimum number of options in a multiple choice list. You need to count the number of elements in the array that's been submitted. So if we go back to the editing program, and we need to go back to the top of the page, and it's after we've checked whether post format exists, we need to add our extra code. The first thing that we need to do is to create a variable to say the minimum. I'll call that minimum selected and set it to 2. Then a conditional statement, and we use the count function, and we pass it the array. So the array is post format, and if that is less than our minimum selected, then we create an element in the errors array. We'll use the same name as the select element, so that's format, and we set that to true. And if that happens, we need to display an error message. So back down to the multiple choice form, and we'll add that on line 83 just before the closing label tag. We have a PHP block in there, and then if is set, and we're looking in the errors array for format. If that has been set, we need to display an HTML span with the class warning, and in there please select at least, and then the PHP shorthand for echo and minimum selected. Then after the closing span tag, we need to close our conditional statement. So if we save that and then go back to the browser, let's just reload the page. So if I try to submit this without selecting anything here, we get please select at least 2. If I try to get away with just 1, it still says please select at least 2. But if I select 2 and submit, that error message goes away and the selections are remembered. So that's how you add a user-friendly multiple choice list to your form. If you've watched the whole of this chapter, I think you'll see the pattern for handling each type of form element is very similar. The main points to be aware of are that most multiple choice elements are not included in the post array if no value is selected. Also, you need to add a pair of square brackets at the end of the name attribute for checkbox groups and multiple choice lists, so that all selections are transmitted as a subarray of the main post array.